We're gonna rev this engine. We're gonna light this candle.
Hell yeah.
Welcome to Who's Your Main. I'm Jared. This is my co-host,
Anthony.
and I'm his co-host. We're co-hosts together.
We're co-hosts, one might say.
We're jacked up. We're jazzed up because last time we were talking about the GameCube, and we realized we do have a lot to say about this system. I mean, I know I do, but I didn't realize how much Anthony here has to talk about it. So we're gonna continue on. This is like part 2. Now we're kind of doing a retrospective about some of the other games that we left off. We wanna jump them in here. What do you got first? What's first? You go first.
So when I was putting my list together, I think this is when I kind of realized I really narrowed my focus down and started playing a lot of sports video games. The GameCube has an insane amount of really good sports games. I'm just going to burn through the list here, kind of go shotgun a little bit. The first one I want to talk about, and it's kind of gotten a little bit of recognition from streamers here lately, to the point where they brought a dead franchise back and started reselling the games again, and that is Backyard Baseball. I'm almost positive you've never played this. I'm assuming you don't know what that is.
I have no idea, but it sounds interesting. Is it like an arcade game?
Yeah. Yes. The best way to describe it. Imagine you remember back at recess when you would go out and you would pick teams, and it would just be like, okay, there's 2 captains, and then you just pick one by one who you want on your team. That's how you made the teams in this game. There were no set teams. It was just kids who had different abilities and attributes and stuff. And you would go through and pick them one at a time, you versus the computer. And then you could either do just like a quick game of baseball, or you could do an entire season and try to win. I think it was called the Humongous Melonhead Championship.
Melonhead?
I want to say that's what I was. Yeah, that was the mascot, was a giant watermelon. It was, I can't even, without you playing it, it's incredibly hard to describe. The announcers were kids as well, and they would play games in like their parents' backyard. So some of the stadiums wouldn't have like a right field, or there would be like a mud puddle at second base, so you wouldn't be able to steal from second to third because there was just mud there. Oh my gosh, it was insanely fun. There was a completely broken character named Pablo Sanchez who was tens and everything, and he could do everything. It was insanely fun. It was amazing.
That game does sound fucking awesome. Just the concept is very. I mean, if anything fits this channel, this podcast. If anything fits it more than that game, tell me. It's like we're millennials, so we had those experiences. Mine was more with just my brothers, but definitely in like gym class and stuff where you were picking people and you knew what they could do. To have that as an experience in a video game is really crazy. Playing that as a kid must have been weird. It's like, oh yeah, I mean, I guess it's kind of, like, imagine going back and playing that game and then thinking about your friends that you would, oh yeah, Anthony's really good at hitting the ball, but he can't, do this thing he can't do. I don't know what you can't do in baseball.
Yeah.
Anyway, I would play that game right now. Was it 2-player?
It was, yeah. So the way that you would decide who picked first was there'd be a baseball bat and you would grab it, and then they would grab it and grab it and grab it, and whoever was the last person to grab the hilt of the bat got to pick first. It was insanely fun. It was exactly like playing recess baseball.
This game deserves some kind of a remake or a brought to the now.
Oh, that's what the best part was. Like, it got really popular with streamers here in the last couple of years, and they re-released it. It's on Steam right now. It's like $5.
Oh my god! I'm pulling up Steam right now, folks, at home. Where is my Steam? I can't find it because I'm too excited.
Support this game. This is exactly what we talk about. It's a dead game that got brought back to life by the fans, and the publisher, I want to say, renewed the rights. It was in the same ilk of, or not ilk, but the publisher was like Pajama Sam. There was like a car, I want to say. I don't remember exactly what they were called, but it was in that family of games. I think it was called Humongous Entertainment. Oh my gosh, it was so fun. It might be my favorite baseball game of all time.
This is insane, folks. This isn't even the only backyard baseball game on Steam. There's the 97, 98, No, this is backyard soccer.
Yeah, they had all the sports. They had football, soccer, baseball, basketball. That might have been it. They might not have had everything.
Basketball, yeah, I see that. This is baseball 01. There's an 01 version.
Yeah. Yeah, they had each game would have pro players that you could pick, but then obviously like in later iterations they wouldn't have those guys again. So each year that you would have a pool of pro players that you could pick. I never picked those guys. I always picked the kids.
No, the 01 isn't until it's coming soon. This isn't even out yet. This is insane.
They literally revitalized a dead genre of games because it got so popular on Twitch.
See, this is another important aspect of going back and playing these old games. You're bringing to light the wonderful times of, still, I will say, the golden age of gaming. If you go back and play games that were on PS2, PlayStation, GameCube, N64, that was the pocket, baby. There just was so many good games that just flew past us, flew under the radar. We couldn't afford it or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm interested. I mean, this list has got me like excited to talk about it. I'm interested to hear what you've got for your first game.
Oh, first game. I feel like we need to bring it up early. We hadn't talked about it on the other one, and I really think that it's a really unique game that was on the GameCube. Well, it's Star Fox Adventures. And Star Fox Adventures was really weird because Star Fox, 1 and 2 were on the Super Nintendo. If you never played them, they are on the Switch right now. You can go and play them. They still feel really good to play, but the N64 one will always be the Star Fox game for me. That game was fucking incredible. But we're not here to talk about that game. We're here to talk about Star Fox Adventures. It's another one of those, do you like Zelda? Well, you should play this. It was made by Rare. They were pumping out fucking jams then, man. I don't know how I feel about Donkey Kong 64. My wife loved that game, but they had made Conker's Bad Fur Day. So they're coming from that. There's footage of Star Fox Adventures before it was Star Fox. They had made this Fox character. He had a sword. They're really interesting videos to watch. Somehow they got leaked online just a year or 2 years ago. I don't remember. Or leaked or purposely put up. I don't know. Really cool. This game was awesome, man. Thinking back, it was just like right there in the time period where science fiction and stuff had kind of come back again. We were talking about Battlecry on the last episode, Robotech. That was Gundam. Gundam was really popular then, too. I loved that game. Did you play Star Fox Adventures?
No, I didn't. Like I said, this is such a weird time for me where I didn't actually own a GameCube. My sister did. And so a lot of the times I would play games like secondhand, which is weird to think of as the older brother in the family who was kind of like the video gamer. So a lot of the times I wouldn't pick up those AAA titles. I would get almost kind of like these sports games as birthday presents or Christmas gifts or whatever. So yeah, I missed that one. And that's definitely one that I would like to go back and kind of experience retroactively.
It's a weird game though for Star Fox. I think the funniest part is the intro where they're trying to sell you on using this fucking bow staff as your weapon. They're like, Fox, you can't go down there and just shoot everything with your blaster. He's like, yeah. And I honestly, I feel like Fox would be like, okay, and then go down there and like that would have been, man, can you imagine he fights like he does in Smash, but then with his fucking blaster attached to it? Oh man, you get different fucking guns and stuff. You don't even know what I'm talking about because those of you who played the game, it's just like Zelda, and there's dinosaurs, and then there's like a blue fox chick that he wants to bang, I guess. I don't know what's going on there. That's some more of that furry stuff that we're always talking about that we had to grow up with. Anthropomorphic characters wanting to smooch. It's funny that there's 2 anthropomorphic foxes from our childhood.
Yeah. They were really shoving that down our throats, weren't they?
It's foxes and they're going to fuck.
They're going to be cute. You like it.
I know that we're not going to stay on any kind of specific topic. We're going to be jumping around here. What do you got next to your list? What was another GameCube classic?
Yeah, I'm gonna jump around here and change the genre here. Now we're talking about sports games. Oh wait, no, that's what my entire list is. We've already talked about these games previously, so I'm just gonna kind of roll through them here and list them quickly. But I think they deserve talking about again. There's 4 games here: Mario Golf, Toadstool Tour, Mario Power Tennis, Mario Superstar Baseball, and Super Mario Strikers. Excuse me. Those 4 games are some of the greatest sports games ever. It's kind of like what I was talking about with Backyard Baseball, where they don't have real teams in their respective genres or leagues or whatever. They use the Mario characters. They all have unique abilities. Picking a character is a choice, almost like in a fighting game where you have different movesets and different fighting styles. Playing Mario Golf with Mario versus playing with King Boo, you're going to play the whole completely differently because, Mario is kind of a standard character. He's going to play kind of like Tiger Woods or whatever. King Boo slices his shot into 2 fairways over. So you have to play the slice. And I remember those 4 games being so fun. Playing them with friends was incredible. They all had really deep single-player game modes with a cool story. I remember, I want to say Mario Power Tennis is where Waluigi comes from. Maybe the birth of that character, if I'm remembering that correctly. Maybe that was Mario Tennis on the 64. Yeah, those 4 games I think all deserve incredible recognition for being not just good games, but being good sports games, which was kind of hard to find in this time period.
Waluigi's first appearance is actually in Mario Tennis, the original.
Oh, there you go.
I believe he was made to fill out the roster. The roster wasn't big enough for having...
doubles.
Yeah, for doubles, and he was going to be Wario's double partner. Made by Camelot, so that's why he often gets shoved to the sideline when talked about in Mario characters. See, we had Mario Power Tennis, and we had Mario Tennis on the 64, and I still prefer the 64 one. I think it feels a lot better than Power Tennis. Power Tennis is where it becomes a Mario Tennis game. I should say, that sounds very confusing. Mario Tennis is just a tennis game with some slight variation on hits and stuff. Mario Power Tennis is it's like Mario Kart. So if there was a kart game and then there's Mario Kart, Mario Power Tennis is where they first start getting like the weird gimmicks and stuff going on, which obviously makes it more fun. Don't take my word for it. Don't go play Mario Power Tennis. It's a good game.
You brought up this before. It's a really good point that I hadn't considered. You're exactly right. The 64 version of games, they were just sports games. And so if you were playing somebody who was good, had a high skill level, the matches would go on forever. I mean, indefinitely. There was nothing to break the tie. And so I think what these 4 games did really well, they had very interesting comeback mechanics and very interesting I win mechanics. And maybe that's the difference is I gravitate towards those mechanics. Whereas like you said, you gravitate more towards, I want there to be a stalemate. I want the better person to win. I don't want there to be, any kind of, like you said, Mario gimmicks. I just want it to be tennis.
Well, I think at the time, I'm thinking more about what I thought when I was young. I mean, I loved that push and pull in the original Mario Tennis. It was such a battle. It was true grit. When me and Bryce would play that game against each other, you're going to hear this a lot, folks. We're almost 20 episodes in. You're gonna hear me say this a lot about me and my younger brother. We would just duke it out for hours. We'd just be smacking the fucking ball back for 1 point forever. And the Power Tennis took that away. You couldn't defend against the catch-up mechanic, the comeback mechanic. It was just done, which is a better format for ending matches. Now, as an adult, respecting time, okay, like this has gone on long enough. Well, can we end this somehow? Mario Power Tennis does that. There was another thing I was going to say about Mario Golf. If you ever watch us stream, folks, you're going to hear us say nice on all the time. And it's from
Yes.
this game.
Yes.
We both played this game. I loved Mario Golf on the GameCube. It was so fun. I remember when that Tiger Woods game came out, and everybody's like, "Oh, it's got so good," and it was fun. Don't get me wrong. The Tiger Woods game, very fun. I'd rather play Mario Golf.
Yeah. I play golf in real life. I love the sport. I would not watch, like when the Masters comes on TV, I don't care to watch it. I don't think golf is a sport to watch. I think it's a sport to play. And I think what Mario Golf Toadstool Tour did was it made it fun to play in the room with someone else, Yeah, I played the Tiger Woods games as well, and I played the story mode and all of that stuff. I would never stream that for someone else and expect them to enjoy it. I would absolutely go back and stream Mario Golf Toadstool Tour because, like I said, you could be playing as Daisy or Mario or Peach or Luigi, whatever, and you're just playing a golf game. But if you picked like Donkey Kong or Bowser or King Boo or something like that, the game is completely changed because now Bowser can drive it 400 yards instead of where Mario can maybe drive it 200 yards. You've cut the level in half. King Boo can slice it around a dog leg, whereas maybe it takes Mario 2 shots to hit it straight and then hit it straight again. I mean, it was just so fun. And like you said, the voice lines in those games, you could taunt while people were hitting the ball. The announcer had that iconic voice, "Nice on," and it burned in our brains as kids. It was everything. It was amazing.
That's where the dopamine was. But I can't describe to you folks how much I didn't care about playing sports games, and these Mario games pulled me in every fucking time. I remember, I don't want to play a fucking golf game. Golf sucks. And then I'm like that little parrot, like bite the cracker, and I'm like, "Oh, that's pretty fucking good." Wow. I mean, I was fucked. Man, I just played the shit out of that fucking golf game, and the Mario Power Tennis played it. I'm gonna call you up some Saturday morning and be like, "Hey, you want to go golfing?" And then I'm just gonna load up Mario Golf, and you're gonna come over there with your clubs. You can be like, "What the fuck? You don't golf?" And then no, put that fucking what's that bag? Get your ass in here! I got the old GameCube out.
And I wouldn't be mad. I would still play it.
The only thing we'd be missing is, I don't know anything about golf. Is cigars and beers or something?
Sure. Yeah, you can smoke and drink on the course.
Yeah, we'll do it in my house. My wife would be like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah. Oh, it'll be just like regular golf. We're getting yelled at by everybody else.
You and I are just arguing over the shot.
Yeah.
You son of a bitch. Oh, my God. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I'm still wanting to talk more about these Mario sports games. I can't remember them all. Well, what's another one? Maybe I played it, maybe I didn't.
Yeah, so we've talked about these before. It was Super Mario Strikers was the soccer game. Mario Superstar Baseball was the baseball game, obviously. Mario Power Tennis was the tennis game, and then Mario Golf Toadstool Tour was the golfing game.
The Strikers game is the one that I played. I didn't play the baseball game. I want to. I wanted to then, but I don't know when that game came out as far as the life of the GameCube. Maybe it was near the end. I don't remember.
It would have been. It would have been one of the very last games because then it was also made on the Wii. It was still very high quality. I think the reason why the Wii game maybe isn't held in such high esteem is just because it was the same game with more characters.
I don't remember who I played or how that game went. I don't remember.
Yeah.
It was fun. I remember it being fun, and it had a lot of those same kind of mechanics in Power Tennis where you could like kick the ball like a psychopath. Like certain characters would do different things. I don't remember.
Yeah, you would the Super Mario Strikers, you would have one team captain, and that could be like Mario, Luigi, Yoshi, whoever. And that person had a power shot, much like you did in tennis. So normally what you would do is you would use your power shot to knock the other team's goalie out, and then anyone could score. Or obviously you could score at any time with your minions, but it was just much easier when the goalie was knocked out. And so it became a kind of like in tennis, kind of a race to the first person who could get their power up.
I'm having some brief memories here now that you're describing it. I feel like we had some friends over for that.
The greatest thing in Super Mario Strikers is that if you played as Waluigi, he would do the DX crotch chop from wrestling that Triple H and Shawn Michaels used to do.
Oh, the fucking
Yeah,
suck it! I forgot that he did that in that game.
Yeah, he did the suck it.
Oh,
I don't care who you want to be in that game. He's mine. That was that you talked about taunting and all of that stuff in the last you might have talked about it in the side quest episode. If you wanted to taunt somebody, you score a goal and you give them a crotch chop. That in a Mario game, that is, oh baby, that's top tier.
Some fucking wild ass old school
Yeah.
taunting.
Yeah.
Was that basketball game on the GameCube, or was that only the 3DS?
I think it was only on the
or the DS. No, not 3DS. The DS.
I think it might have only been on the DS. I'm not sure. I don't remember. If it was on the GameCube, I didn't play it. I should say that.
Well, did you play the baseball game when it was originally on the GameCube?
Yes. Yeah. That's where I was introduced to it. Yeah, and then obviously the Wii version, like I said, was it was essentially, for all intents and purposes, it was the exact same game. I think they added what's the Donkey Kong character who is like Donkey Kong's brother or cousin?
Talk about Funky Kong with his glasses.
Funky Kong, yeah. Funky Kong was in that game.
A badass.
Yep. His baseball bat was a surfboard, and it was like a guaranteed home run every time you hit with him because it was so big.
That guy fucking is awesome. That's awesome that he used to surfboard. Are you kidding?
Yeah. It was really fun. But like that's the difference, I think between a game that takes itself super serious. It's like, oh, well, my guy has a 75 in home run hitting. My guy has a 77 in home run hitting. Those games were much more about like, well, my guy uses a surfboard and he hits a home run every time. It's like, well, we're going to pick him.
I love that. I really want to go back and play all of these games. If they don't fucking put any of these games on the Switch, I mean, obviously they're putting Strikers. So, and we both have a Switch, so hopefully it'll still let us play it online. Of course, we won't be able to stream it for these fine folks at home because, somebody email Nintendo about that if you want to see us stream some Mario games, because I don't know if we're allowed. We would play that for you folks. We would love to play the Strikers game, and if they put the other Mario games up there, we would love to stream those games for you as well, because I would play those games right now. I loved playing the Mario Tennis game. I love playing the Mario fucking golf game, and Strikers. I'm sure I would. You know what Strikers reminds me of? I'm having this lightning flash of a recall here. There was a Mega Man soccer game on the Super Nintendo.
Oh, interesting.
It was so weird. But now that I think about it, it was the same way where there was just like one guy on the team that was the captain. I got to go back and look at that game. I'm going to look that up and go back. Mega Man is one of those core memories for me, so I latch on to it. Sorry, I shoved you through your Mario list because I was like locked in on thinking about those Mario games.
I did 4 in a row. I cheated, so you can go ahead and take the next one.
Just real brief. I think we already mentioned Killer 7 before. I feel like we talked about that game already.
Maybe.
I can't fucking remember. I didn't play it on the GameCube, so maybe I shouldn't talk about it here. We'll give it a little brief. I'll give you the brief story that I always remember. I was playing it upstairs on the family room TV instead of in the basement where the degenerates go. When we were kids, we had a TV in the basement for us to play video games. So when we were screaming and shouting, our parents could shut the door. Well, I was playing it on the upstairs TV, and my mom was making dinner, and I don't remember which of the 7 I was, but when he hit a critical, he would yell, "Fuck you." And I didn't know that. So I had just become this character in the storyline. Hit the "fuck you," and my mom was like, "What are you playing?" It's like, "Nothing, it's dumb," and I turned it off. But the art style in that game, incredible. We're talking about the GameCube era, the PS2 era. I mean, you're going to get some really artistically driven, like, we're taking some chances here. We're trying to push envelopes. We don't know what we can do yet. We don't know what the gamers will like. I don't know. It was a cool game.
Yeah. I think that was kind of the MO of GameCube was we're going to take a risk on something. It might work. It might not. Just try it. See if it works. If you don't like it, we won't ever make it again.
I want to switch back over to Nintendo specific WarioWare. This was
Oh, okay.
like the first WarioWare game, and we were around the same time of the Wario Land games being on the Game Boy Advance and stuff. And so it was a really weird game. I don't know. Mario Party games, I'd kind of fell off with them because they basically were like, those games really caused a lot of fist fights with me and my brothers. We got in trouble a lot for playing Mario Party games, so we had stopped buying those games. Because we were like, that game is, I'm going to steal your fucking star, you piece of shit. You stole my fucking star. I'm going to beat your fucking ass, you cheating son of a bitch. They were fun games, though. If you could control your temper, they were very fun. They're almost on the same level as some fucking Monopoly bullshit. I don't know, with the anger those games cause people, but man, the mini games were so fun. And WarioWare, I mean, that's what these games are. They're like a second long game, and you have to play them really fast. They put like words on the screen. They're like, move left. And then you're playing a game and you have to move left, and you have like 2 seconds before it's over, and whether or not you get the point or not. Those were so fun. I loved the WarioWare on the GameCube. It was so fun. Me and my brothers played those, and we never got in a fight over those. I don't know. Mario Party, though, something about him. Wario knows what you want.
I never played the WarioWare games, but you're right. I think that's the intended way of playing Mario Party. Is you're supposed to get in a big fight and then not talk to anybody for 2 weeks.
That's it. Except I lived with my brothers, so we would just be
true. There's no
each other.
escape.
Yeah, just beat each other up some more. Let's go on a Sonic run. Or unless you got something. Maybe stay in the Mario vein. You got anything in the Mario vein that I'm fucking forgetting?
No. Everything of mine. Well, no, that's not true. I've got a big one here. Let's go with Luigi's Mansion. That was a huge game for me. Like I said, I didn't own the GameCube. That was my sister's console. And so this is one where it started out, I kind of walk in the room and it's like, oh, that's cool. Oh, Luigi's the main character. Sick. And then when it was my turn to play, that was the game that I gravitated towards. I loved Luigi's Mansion. I thought the idea of that game was so perfect for him being the cowardly hero who is so not what you would normally expect as a protagonist, and then just going through the mansion and sucking up all of the ghosts and stuff. It was so fun. I loved that game.
I remember when they announced this game. I don't know. I can't believe I forgot to even think about it. It was crazy. It was just so crazy that Luigi got his own game. I was I remember being so happy. Before my other two brothers were born, my youngest two, it was always just me and my older brother, and I was always regulated into the fucking second player, Green Man. Eventually, my brother was like, no, I'm Luigi because I'm taller, and now I'm taller than him, and he's like, shit. But I was like, holy shit, fucking Luigi's got his own game? This is so cool. But none of my brothers ever wanted the game. By the time I would have had enough money for it, I had probably bought something that was 4-player. Because that's really what I really liked to play a game with someone rather than play a solo game. But John had this game, and I remember going over to his house and watching him play it. Of course, now I think it's like the third one. Isn't it crazy we're only on number 3 of Luigi's Mansion after the great success Luigi's Mansion 1 is?
Yeah, exactly. That's insane to me.
Yeah. You know what else is really crazy? So we had Luigi's Mansion in the dark, Mario Sunshine in the light, but EGAD made both the flood system and the whatever the suction system is called in Luigi's Mansion. I always thought that was fucking a cool continuity like link up to the Mario Brothers. Mario. Yeah. That's my favorite thing about Luigi, that you can call for him.
Yeah, searching for him throughout the haunted house. That's incredible.
Yeah. Oh.
Mario?
I play that game with my kids now, and they're scared of that game. It's so cute.
It is kind of scary if you're a kid, you know?
Yeah, I guess.
I think it's just because it's in the dark and you're seeing things through a flashlight. That can be scary for a kid.
I always think it's really funny to I wonder if we were like this. I always think it's really funny. My son has no fear at charging a Goomba in Mario Odyssey. But a ghost coming out of the wall in Mario Luigi, he's like, Luigi's Mansion, wow, I'm having trouble. He's like, whoa, I'm scared. Luigi's Mansion, though, it has gotten several re-releases and things like that, I think, over the years. There was a really cool, I know we're not talking about it, 3DS, I think it was 3DS, where you could play multiplayer, Luigi's Mansion, where the other players were the Googies.
Oh, interesting.
It's pretty fun, right?
I think that game, like you said, it hasn't gotten the recognition that it deserves. I think those games are some of the best things that Nintendo does, where we're going to take an idea. It's literally Luigi's Mansion. You know everything there is to know about the game in the title of the game, but you still have fun at every twist and turn of the game. There's no point in that game. Like you said, it's a fun game to play with your kids or something like that. I was playing it as a teenager, and so I wasn't afraid of the game. But at the same time, there is that element of the character is scared and cowering, and so as the player, you want to empathize with the protagonist, and so you're sitting there going like, "Well, Luigi's scared. I'm not scared. I'm a big tough man." And then the ghost pops up. And you're like, "Well, okay, all right. Listen here."
That's the best part. The other thing that was really cool is they were starting to really give both brothers the limelight together, and their own like solos were on the GameCube. But there was I don't want to go too deep into this in case we ever do a Game Boy Advance retrospect, or really just this series retrospect, or just a Mario RPG series, the Mario Luigi games. I mean, finally, bring the other guy.
Exactly. Nintendo is kind of weird about that, and you mentioned it before with Waluigi. They're kind of weird about only allowing the main characters to be the main characters. It's very Dragon Ball Z in that aspect of, well, Goku's the hero, he's going to win. Well, my favorite character's Piccolo or Vegeta or whatever. Why can't he win? Well, he's not Goku. And this is the first time where it's like, oh, wow, cool. Luigi gets his own game, and Mario is, for all intents and purposes, not involved. Cool. I like that. I just wish Nintendo would do more of that.
I would love to see that as well. More story driven, more focus on just all of that. I would love to see. Just that's I can't put it into words right now.
Yep, I got you. Yeah, I get it. I mean, we've literally been going for. I mean, we're pretty close to being almost on our third hour here, I think, and like we're literally rolling on the hype train of the Switch 2. I mean, this is what we're talking about. These are the things that we want to see from Nintendo. We want this library of games on the Switch 2. And, obviously not these games, but these are the kind of offerings that we want on the Switch 2. And that's why we started this retrospective look at this stuff, is because there are some great games here that really you can't find anymore. I know you said, Luigi's Mansion is on the newer systems, but it's Luigi's Mansion 3. It should be Luigi's Mansion like 15. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. I think I might save I was going to talk about Sonic games that were on the GameCube. I don't know.
Okay.
We might save those for a Sonic retrospective. That's a pretty big run, if you will. And I kind of like these being closer to just the Nintendo or the games that were locked in on this system. I don't know. What do you got? You got something next?
Yeah, I got another one. And this is, again, kind of a lesser known game, or maybe I had completely forgotten about it. And then when we were kind of going over the wiki and trying to put together a list, as soon as I saw it, I was like, oh my gosh, I have to talk about this. This is Godzilla Destroy All Monsters. And this is a giant arena battler where you play as Godzilla and you just destroy the town or the other person. And it doesn't matter which one. And it was so fun. I remember, obviously, you can unlock all of the characters from the Godzilla movies. I just stuck with, bog standard Godzilla. And I love those campy, kaiju movies, whatever you want to call them. I love that stuff. And so to have a game of that was so fun and unique. Just, in so many games, you're the good guy. You're supposed to save everyone. And, it's like, oh, the villain. We got to defeat the villain and save the city. And in this game, you literally just, I'm going to kill that guy. And if I blast that building over there, well, shouldn't have been standing there. Sorry about it. I don't know what to tell you.
I remember playing this game. You were talking about it, and I looked up some screenshots. I remember playing. I don't remember if we borrowed it or I played it at somebody's house or what it was. I don't think we had that game. But it really reminds me of an NES game that I fondly look back on because of how often it was 2-player. At the same time, Rampage, which is in that same vein, it was basically King Kong and Godzilla go around killing people. You could eat people, smash the building. Oh, I'm not talking about the NES right now. I would love to. I'd love to. There are some amazing titles on the NES that are worth going back and playing. It sounds crazy because the NES is like a really old system. We're not talking about that right now. An amazing game. The best thing about that Godzilla game, I remember shooting the atomic breath across the fucking map at the other guy. It was fucking awesome, dude. Destroying the fucking buildings. I remember at the time, I was like, oh no, what if I hurt somebody? And nowadays, we'd be like, fuck this building.
Yeah. A lot of the things that we talk about, it's kind of, we're saying the same things, but I remember them sticking out so much. The sound design in those old Godzilla movies and games were so unique and powerful. You felt like you were a giant monster. It put you in that headspace of just that lumbering, slow. It's not because you're not powerful or athletic. It's because you're so massive that each step is shaking the earth and crushing buildings. And like you said, the aftermath of your attacks are destroying things beyond the intention of what you were trying to do, just because they're so strong and powerful. I loved it. I to this day, I still think those style of movies and games are incredible.
Oh yeah, I love that. I mean, we could do a whole spiel about going back and talking about kaiju, and well, really, the main drive there for me would be Mighty Morphin Power Rangers and the original show, Zero Ranger. I went back and watched it with my wife.
Yeah,
we're not talking about that though, are we?
Jeez, no, we're not talking about wives. We're talking about games.
Look how I'll just take us down another fucking road that's off topic. Yeah. Okay. I'll throw one in.
Yeah.
This one I didn't play. I watched my brother play. I still need to go back and play it now. My appreciation for Lord of the Rings should have been much higher at the time, but I don't know. I didn't really understand it, and I just wasn't paying attention really. Now my Lord of the Rings list is super high, and this game, Lord of the Rings: The Third Age, it was this really strange Final Fantasy X, like, not ripoff, but used the Final Fantasy X like battle system. I'm pretty sure. I'd love to lock in and get on it. I don't remember the storyline. I don't think that it follows the main cast. I think it's like a spin-off cast, not from the books. I don't know. I need to go back and play it. Now I've read the books and I've watched the movies 100 times and all that. I think you said you played it.
Yeah, I played this on the PlayStation 2, and I'm kind of in that same boat with you. I vaguely remember there was a cast of 3 characters. You were a elf, a human, and a dwarf, but you weren't the Fellowship. You were like sent on a different mission to go do something else. You play a Lord of the Rings game, you expect to be playing as the main characters. I was just as attached to these guys as I was the main cast after I got done. It was so fun leveling each one of them up. You could, kind of give them different abilities and make them like the people on the show or make them something unique and different. That to me was just so fun. The idea of being, yes, the elf could be a archer like Legolas, or you could turn him into kind of the Gimli character and give him like a bunch of weapons and he becomes the dual wielding fighter for all intents and purposes. I wish I knew the story of that game, but I remember it being very, very fun.
You know me, if it's an RPG. Oh wow! Once again, can I stop rhyming?
No,
we're getting dangerously close to time here.
All right,
are we gonna have to do a part 3 retrospect?
Nah, I think everything that I have left on my list, I think those are things that it's okay to skip over. I mean, we're talking about sports games and wrestling games. I don't think those are anything too crazy.
Let's give honorable mentions. You want to go first? You want me to go first?
I'm going to go first. I'm going to run through these real quick. So MLB Slugfest is basically like Blitz, NFL Blitz, but for baseball. You would punch people. Like if you got a hit and you ran to first base, you could punch the first baseman and make him drop the ball so you could get to second. Very fun. NBA Street, kind of that same idea where you got style points on top of your points for scoring a basket. So you could get 2 or 3 points. but then if you did like an alley-oop or a crazy trick beforehand, you would get bonus points. Incredibly fun. And then Ultimate Muscle Legends versus New Generation, that was just kind of a really fun wrestling game. I didn't understand the lore. I think that's an anime, I want to say, or like maybe a series of games in Japan. I didn't understand any of that. I just knew it was a really fun wrestling game. Yeah, I'm interested to see what you got here. What do you got for honorable mentions?
It's so weird to say this because these were Dreamcast games, except for two of them. But you can't talk about the GameCube without talking about the GOAT of Sonic Adventure 2 Battle. Of course, you can say Sonic Adventure DX. So many fond memories of playing Adventure 2 Battle on the GameCube. And now I've played it for hours and hours on Steam. The other two, Sonic Heroes, it still has not been remade. There's the only way I believe you can play this is with actual hardware. Might get some backlash for this, but Shadow the Hedgehog, I recently played that with the mods, and it's really fun. I think that they have to be mentioned.
Like you said, I think Sonic maybe deserves a deep dive on its own. Yeah. That series and that genre.
Yeah, Sonic in general. I mean, it doesn't feel right to put him in here with the GameCube and the Nintendo and all that because he had to basically flee his sinking ship console. But luckily, Mario gave him a hand up. You know, that's how I always think about it. Is that they did him dirty in Super Smash though?
Well, they did him dirty in Mario and Sonic Olympic game too. Why is Sonic not winning every single race?
Yeah, it doesn't seem right. Any Sonic character is competing against Mario characters. There's like some power discrepancies there. But this doesn't really conclude a retrospective on a system. These are just our opinions and thoughts about this and what we really wanted to talk about. I don't know. Shoot us email, fax, whatever. With what did we leave off? What was a really important game to you that maybe we didn't play? Maybe we need to go back and play it. I don't know. That's my closing thoughts here. What do you got? Anything?
Nah, I think I'm good.
How dare you? How dare?
See ya.
Ah!